Hey guys, Greenbird here. I hope everybody is doing fantastic, happy, healthy, safe, and enjoying your time. Kenton, this is another video that I'm going to do for you. Let me straighten up the camera a little bit. And it's supposed to snow quite a bit tonight, so I don't think I'll be able to get another video out tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure that I got one out for you. I know it's still kind of cold where you're at, but you know, I did say I was going to get some videos out for you, so I wanted to do that. So a couple, you know, these beginning videos, you know, I realize that they're not very in depth. So I went over a little bit of pressure flaking. I went over a little bit of how to take a flake and where to take a flake. A lot of it is very, very intuitive, and I feel like you probably will figure this out with just a little bit of you know, steering in the right direction. So I will do some videos after this series that will be kind of more like from start to finish, so you'll get to see a little bit more of that. But this video is going to be about support, and I am going to wear my glove. I don't normally wear a glove, but I don't normally work obsidian either, and obsidian likes to bite, and being that I don't really want to have to leave to go to the doctor's if I happen to get a good solid deep cut, I'm going to wear my glove. Again, I don't normally like to do that, but with obsidian I'm going to. So we went over in the last video some of the places to choose your platforms, and these low spots here are really good spots, kind of where the smiles are. Maybe I'll zoom in just a little bit. And this is a good opportunity too. I wanted to talk about, I had a comment on one of my other videos that I had made for another person, Eli, who was looking to start napping for the first time. And the comment that I got from the person, and I don't think they were being snarky, I think they were just being honest, was that I missed a lot of beginner platforms, and I think that was because I was choosing specific platforms that I thought were easier to hit than others, and that's, you know, but it was a learning experience for me too, and I don't take offense to that comment, because when you're looking at these platforms on these stones, it really is about what platform you want to take. So I may think that this is the best platform. Maybe somebody wants to, you know, jump off this edge over here, or this flat edge, and you'll learn as you do this why you take the platforms that you take. It's very, very personal. But that also brings me to what I wanted to talk about in this video, which is NShock. So anytime that you're going to hit this stone, you're putting kinetic energy into the stone, right? So think about it. It is vibrating this stone, and as it does that, it'll want to break it, right? So how we support it is super, super important, because it can either absorb kinetic energy that we don't want to go everywhere else, which will allow our flake to travel, or if we support it too much, it might actually stop our flake from traveling. So we need to really think about that, and think about, you know, the force that you're putting in there. Give it enough support so that it doesn't break in the middle, but we also want that flake to travel. And that's kind of one of those things where, again, I know I keep using this example, but it's sort of like throwing a football. You just have to do it. You have to get the hang of it. So in this particular situation, I do have some platforms, but I think I'm going to do a little bit of trim work to try and get. So we want to hit those low spots, right? So if we don't have any low spots, if we flip it over and hit down, that's going to create a low spot on the other side. I'll show you what I mean. So let's take this flat edge right there. There's nothing there. I'm just going to strike down. Could have been a little bit better. But you can see how we lowered that edge right there. See how that edge is lowered? Now if we want to, we can grind that off. See if we can get a flake. So again, I'm going to support this holding. I like to touch the top, the tip and the back and the base, tip and the base at the same time. Can't always do that. Just cradle it a little bit. You don't want to push too much because you'll stop that flake from traveling. So what I like to do is, instead of hitting it down and in, I like to tip it a little bit on my leg. Angle it a little bit. There we go. We got a decent flake. Not a great flake. What I do is I ground off that platform that was left right here. Okay. You can see that ridge that it follows. Now it does go into a step fracture, or that's actually a hinge. It does go into a hinge. I'm hoping that that camera picks it up. So I don't know. It's not a great idea to blast into a hinge because you'll usually get a short termination. But if you hit it just right, you can undercut that and slice right through it. And that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to hit a little bit extra hard. Fingers on the base. Trying to support the tip as much as I can. A little bit of pressure on my leg, but not a lot, because I don't want to stop that flake from traveling. There we go. Most of it got away from me here, but you can see what's left of the flake. This right here, and it feathered off nicely. Now I am going to pick up these chips. I'm in a place where I know where I can pick them up. So see how smooth that feathered. That is the balance of angles versus support of your piece. And I guess since we're here, I'll mention this too, Kenton. See how there's a big giant hinge right there? And if you haven't seen, check out my video that talks about hinges versus step fractures. They're both short terminations, they just terminate in a different way. And I'll probably talk a little bit more about them, but you never want to hit a platform into a hinge unless you really, really know that you can undercut it, which in this case, you know, look how aggressive that hinge is. It's not, you're not going to undercut that. So you have to get it from the other side. So you'll have to work the stone until you can get a platform to drive this way to undercut that. But really, what I wanted to talk about in this video, and I'm sorry, but I have to make it short. It's getting dark. I've been super busy lately. Is the support. If you just hit this stone as it is, it'll smack into at least 2 or 3 pieces. But you use your hands to support to either prevent kinetic force from driving in a particular direction, if that's what you want to do, or to steer it. Maybe you hold it by the tip and put a little bit of pressure on that ridge, but maybe not a lot, just so it drives that flake across. Or maybe you have a thin tip that you don't want to break off. Maybe you put a little bit of extra pressure on that as you're hitting a platform. That will absorb that kinetic energy, because, you know, that's what the support does. It absorbs that kinetic energy, so it will either prevent kinetic energy or it'll redirect kinetic energy. So this is that same piece of obsidian that I worked with before. And again, I apologize that I have not had time to really do a proper video for you, but I think these little tidbits will give you some information to be able to sort of nap intuitively. And what I do is, when I don't have something that's desirable for me to take, I just do a little bit of trimming. Make sure you shake your pad off, because if there's any stone underneath there, that will, that'll create some issues. And usually you'll find that when you do this, the platform presents itself. Hello? Hello? I'm just out in the woods. Okay, thank you, honey. Love you. Bye. My potato salad's ready. Better hurry this up. Alright, so do a little bit of trim work here and there. And if you get that little zigzag pattern going, you can kind of see those are all platforms. You can dry flakes off. Now my base is very thick. I guess while I'm talking about this, one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that your base or your tip never gets thicker than the center of your point. Always keep those two thinner. So my base is thicker, and you know, check it out. I got a little flat spot there, right here, where I can maybe drive a flake off. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And see how it's right on where that hinge is? So if I can drive a flake off the bottom here, maybe I'll leave myself a platform where I can blast off that hinge on the top. Let's see. I haven't worked obsidian in a while. I prefer the harder rock because obsidian likes to bite. Seems like every time I work it, I end up with it in my feet for a week. But it does flake predictably. Okay, there I did not get a good flake, so I'm going to trim. There we go. So I should have showed you, but I got a crappy flake, but I was able to trim that, and look at that nice platform that I left myself. So I'm going to grind that down. It is kind of at a strange angle, but I think we'll still be able to take it off. So I'm supporting the tip, supporting the base, a little bit of pressure on my leg, but not a lot, depending upon how much I want to drive that flake. This flake is further towards the base, so I can get away with a little bit more pressure, but I'm really just kind of keeping it in place. Trying to hit that low spot. It's not really the best platform. I'm going to take it anyway, though. That was not good. There we go. Let's see if I can keep that in place. Oh, I broke it. But that's all right. This is the flake. These are the flakes that came off. Did thin that spot off. I'm going to keep these flakes actually because these are good flakes. But I did break the piece. So let's see where to connect it here. I can't see exactly where it was, but oh yeah, right here, right here. So right here is where it broke off. Now that could have been a support issue. Maybe I didn't have as good a support as I needed to, or it could have been a flaw in the stone, but with obsidian, it's pretty clean. I'm guessing that had to do with my strike. But that's okay, I still have a good big piece of stone to work with. So what I'm thinking is, because this part's thin, this part is, you know, kind of thin, but I've got this big solid mass in the middle, I'm going to trim up right here and try and drive a flake down that ridge right there. Thin that out, and then I'll probably come up here and try and thin that out too. So there we go, I built my platform. See that low spot. Grinding really good. I like to grind down and also side to side. With obsidian, I like to leave the dust on there. I think it gives a little bit of grip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and drive this flake right here. There's a little bit of a step there. So it's a nice challenge. Get to see if I can undercut that. And try and give it enough support on the tip, because the tip is very thick compared to the rest of it, so that will contribute to NShock. So let's see if I can do this without breaking the stone in half. And we did. Wasn't able to save the stone, but, or the flake rather, but look, we thinned that out. So Kenton, I think for today I'm going to leave this here. This is where we're going to stop. I think maybe in the next video we'll talk about how to address that big giant hinge right there. Reduce that down. Again, I'm supposed to get about 5 inches of snow tonight, and wanted to make sure that I got a video out for you before that happened. I know I've been super busy, so I haven't been as diligent about getting my videos out as I would like to have been, but this is a really cool adventure. So I hope you're having fun, and if it's warm enough where you're at, I hope you're able to get out there and do a little bit of napping. And until next time, everybody, please remember to be a good neighbor, a good family member, and love each other, and do everything you can to help each other out during this time. So, all right, see you guys later.